that. I am working on a meeting room policy, and Kelly and I sat down and spoke a little bit about that and looked at some other policies from around the state and beyond. I want to get my staff's feedback, and then I'm going to get it to Jeff before we talk about it, hopefully, and can get it approved at the next meeting, because I'd like to go into the new year with a stronger policy. I just think we need to tighten up some things and make it a little bit clearer about who's using the meeting room and
Which policy is that?
for the meeting room use for the annex.
I still can't hear you.
Meeting room policy.
Meeting room policy.
Yes.
Check. Makes it easier to hear when that's not in the way.
So I hope to have that so that we can get started on the right foot in the new year with that. I'm also working with Janess on creating a logo for the library. The books that we have are not really in the book logo, if you want to call it that we've been using, is not really in kind of the format that's best for reproduction across various things. So Ann McMillan had recommended that I talk to him, and he's given me quite a few things to choose from, and so we've been going back and forth, and again, I want to get the staff's feedback on that and then present you guys with 4 or 5 to choose from and make a final choice on that. The Nevada Library Association conference is coming up. It's November 6th and 7th. I'm still not entirely sure that I'm going to attend because we are a little short-staffed with Jay being out for YALSA, and there's still no agenda that's available, and I'd kind of like to know what's being offered before I take the time away to be there, because if it's not valuable to the library, it doesn't seem like, while it is a good networking opportunity, I think, want to be cautious of having good service in the building. We are offering a What's Cooking Show and Tell program with Mel from the museum. So if you are available on Tuesday, November 7th, please come by the library. If you have a unusual cooking gadget of some kind, please bring that with you. He's going to bring some things from the museum, and people will have the opportunity to find out more. That is going to be at 6 o'clock.
6.
Mm-hmm. We are also going to be offering on Wednesdays in November. It is National Novel Writing Month, so we're going to have a Come Right In opportunity, which is really just providing people.
Those notes.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
correct.
the one at the bottom.
Yep, and that is just a carryover from the previous
I
sheet.
just wanted-
and
just
I will
wanted to
make
check
sure
and
that that goes away for the future.
And second question, have you had a bring your own book club, and how's it being received?
We had one last month. We only had one person in attendance. I think probably a little bit more information about how that works needs to go out. There is one scheduled for this evening. We're going to be talking about ghosts as our theme. I'm kind of waiting to see. I'm hoping to get more people. I know a couple people have asked me about it, so I'm hoping that translates into bodies in the room. But I also know it's hard sometimes once you're home for the night. Going back out is a challenge.
I'm interested in it. I just, like today, I have to go back to work and I won't be able to be there. But
Right.
Every other week, I just wondered, I guess it hasn't really been received yet. So
Yeah, no, this will only be our second meeting this evening. I've been participating in I did run one down in Florida. I've also been participating in one that a friend at her library started during COVID, and they actually meet weekly, which this is just once a month because that seemed like a big commitment. It also, like I said, had started during COVID when people were looking for things to do. And so I try to participate when I can, but of course with the 3-hour time difference, that creates some challenges. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, because we kind of expanded it. Well, I think her original intent was we also talked about movies and music, and I may further expand this if that seems to be of interest to the folks attending. So I hope you can join us sometime, Dave.
And try.
All right, hearing no other questions for CL, thank you for your report, and we will move on. This next agenda item appears twice, both as item 5 under new business and also just the regular standing spot. So I think we can just go ahead and address that right now, which is to set the date and time of the next regular or special library board meeting. In November and then again in December, we run into the conflict with the holidays. So our next, if we were to maintain our regular schedule, our next meeting would be scheduled for Thanksgiving. We have two options around that. We can move the meeting up to the 16th or back to the 30th. I am open.
Actually, we may not have two options because I didn't realize until I got the email from Pam the other day that we, I'm guessing we set our plan in place last year, or did we for?
I'm gonna pull it up real quick and
Okay.
take a look here, let me look. Cause that was related to next year, not this year, so let me see what we've got going on here with the room.
Well, perfect.
And we may not have said it, they might have been waiting for you to do it when you came on board.
Okay.
Generally-
I remember Carol saying something.
Yeah, generally in the past, and given, I will add the caveat that that past did not necessarily involve using the commission chambers, but we would typically set the meeting date at the meeting before. So,
Okay.
and in the past, we have moved the meeting forward to the week prior. But again, depending on the room availability, I think that'll guide our decision-making here.
So Pam Moore, for the record, the conference chambers is available on the 16th and the 30th of November. And then for December, the 21st is available, if you guys wanted to move it up a week. Or did you want me to look at a different date because the following week goes into January?
Nope,
so-
I think that's perfect. So folks, unless
Well,
there's
actually,
a-
the December one doesn't fall on a holiday, right?
It does not.
No, so I hadn't put that on the agenda because I figured we would just go with our regular, but it sounds like we have options.
Yeah. All right, so I would propose that we maintain the tradition of moving the meeting a week early and choose to set the date for our next regularly scheduled meeting of the Library Board of Trustees for November 16th at 3 p.m. at the Churchill County Administration Building at 155 North Taylor Street in the Commission Chambers. Does that work for everyone?
I don't know. I don't have my phone.
Okay.
Yes.
I could probably make it work.
I don't believe that's something we need to take a vote on, is it?
No.
Press the flashing red light.
Oh, I got it.
Same thing, yep.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to take action on it. I think you're fine.
Perfect. Okay, so then the next meeting is scheduled for November 16th, 2023 at 3 p.m. at the Churchill County Administration Building, 155 North Taylor Street in the Commission Chambers. All right, moving on to old business. For information, only a report on books, bites, and beverages final totals.
Okay, I did not have this ready by the time the packet was ready, but I've gotten it since, because there were some discrepancies. A few things got coded wrong, so we made, I think, and I still need to sit down with Joe to go over everything. The total income made, though, I think, is $7,448.25. There was expenditures of $2,461.43, which leaves us with a net income of $4,986.82.
Are there any questions about the books, bites, and beverages final total? Great, thank you. And we'll move on for old business item 2, corrected circulation statistics for fiscal year '23 and July and August of fiscal.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to admit that I don't remember, but which one of these was the one that we were basically just going to draw down to zero,
That's the Morgan Trust.
and we still have a balance of $63,000?
That is correct. A little bit of history since COVID, that we haven't had to pull a whole bunch of money out of that Morgan Trust. The Library Board of Trustees took action to spend down the gift fund generally with after the Churchill Library Association started the endowment.
The gift fund was the one we were gonna draw down to
Yes,
zero.
yeah, so we did
Okay.
that. The
Check.
Morgan Trust is dedicated specifically for collection development, and we haven't really had to touch that Morgan Trust for a while. I think we did authorize some money to be moved over for digital collection development in order to give CL some buffer at the beginning of her tenure with us. Did that answer your question, Dave?
So the gift fund was the one we were gonna draw down to zero,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
Not the Morgan,
Well,
because that's not
ultimately,
really,
the Morgan Trust is going to be drawn down to zero too over time for collection development.
okay, right, but, okay. I think I get it.
Squares and rectangles.
Right? Okay. Where are we? Motion to approve the library gift fund as submitted.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the library gift fund. All in favor, please indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. And we'll move on to new business item number 3, consideration and possible action to approve the revised video surveillance policy. So folks, on this one, in your packet, it's back a couple of pages. You'll see a copy of the existing library video surveillance policy, followed by a policy that would be a new policy. The new policy was generally modeled on Clark County Library District's policy, which I brought a copy of for everyone today. After this policy was submitted in this packet, we received a letter from our representation from the District Attorney's Office expressing some concerns about the policy and potential issues related to public records included in NRS 239. So I've also brought a copy of Chapter 239 from the Nevada Revised Statutes. The issue is around interpretation of NRS 239.010 and 239.013. And I'm really personally feeling at a little bit of an impasse at this moment. So we can have discussion around this today, but it would be my recommendation that we table this action item until a future date.
Do we have to vote to table it?
We do need to vote to table it.
And Jeff Weed, for the record, I'm happy to answer anyone's questions, whether it be today or on another day, whatever it may be. But whatever questions anyone has, I'm happy to answer those.
Jeff, would it be possible for your office to reach out to the Attorney General's office for a written opinion pursuant to 228150 on this?
The Attorney General's office is all but stopped doing that. They used to do it frequently, but they don't do it very often anymore. This is not, I think, an issue that they would address. In opinion, another option for the board is You can always seek to hire your own counsel. Obviously, it would cost some money and some things of that nature, but that's an option. And so at this point, the district attorney's office, our opinion is what I've expressed prior to today. And again, I'm happy to answer questions about it. But yeah, I think that's where that's at.
Okay. I've included copies of the opinion that Jeff provided from the district attorney's office for all members of the board and for the public as well. Are there any questions at this juncture?
No. That I can think of.
In that case,
Yeah, I think, I don't have a question, but I think we should table this until the next meeting. And I think we should be provided all the information that we need to come to a decision.
yeah, at this juncture, I mean, I feel really uncomfortable taking action on a policy that goes against the recommendation of our district attorney's office. That's something that I'm not interested in doing. At the same time, we don't have a policy written that from my perspective, lives up to and right to privacy around their usage of the library, while at the same time protecting the county for potential litigation around violating public records law. So until such a point in time as we have managed to navigate those waters, while staying true to best practices recommended by the American Library Association regarding patron privacy and public records compliance, I think we should table this.
Is there a policy in place currently?
The policy that's currently in place is this one sentence that says that the Churchill County Library maintains external video surveillance and the video is viewable at the discretion of the library director. And that was a boilerplate, single sentence policy that was put in place when the surveillance cameras were installed by CC Communications. And if I'm remembering the timeline on that, that had a lot to do with the fact that the library wasn't regularly staffed at that juncture and wasn't open due to COVID shutdowns. And so the decision to put in security. Questions, folks? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to approve closing the library on Saturday, November 11th and Saturday, November 25th.
Motion to close the library on Saturday, November the 11th and Saturday, November the 25th.
And we have a second.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second to approve closing the library on November 11th and November 25th. All in favor, please indicate with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes, and I am going to skip over new business item 5, considering that we already set the date for the next library board meeting. And with that, that brings us to our second period of public comment. And hearing none, I will call us adjourned at 3:37 p.m. Thank you very much.